Get in! The champions of Europe are back in action, back winning football matches, 4 goals to your 1 goal. Norwich City go home with the tails between their legs, as we expected. And the Reds were boss worthy here. But Neil Dochen, well, Fuad Hassan with me. This is the last time we're free on YouTube. If you want to carry on watching, well, you're going to have to subscribe, you minge bags. AnfieldWrap.com. Go and have a look, get involved. You like this show, don't you? It's worth the money in itself, I'd say. Anyway, so Norwich City. Norwich City were actually all right, near I thought, but the Reds are just better. And that was a performance, a win built on absolute graft. You walked in then, you said, "Fuck me, it's boiling," and it is boiling. It's a sweaty, hot, close type of night, isn't it? And it's the first game of the season, and those lads, first half in particular, ran their arses off.
Oh God, yeah, absolutely.
And I'm just standing on the cop sweating me bottom shot going, I'm glad I'm not doing that.
Yeah, absolutely. They left it all out there for us tonight.
Maybe that's why that fella ran on the pitch. That's not really hot.
Get this off. Get his t-shirt off.
The fella who ran it on the pitch definitely left it all out there. I mean, we didn't need to see that, mate.
No. I preferred the girl in the Champions League final, if I'm being honest. But yeah, no, bloody hell. No one needs to see that. Anyway, apart from that, no, I mean, the attitude was just spot on, wasn't it? I think I heard one of the Norwich fans on one of the shows this week was saying that, you know, the time when you want to play a big club is either kind of after a big European game or maybe like first game of the season when you might be able to catch them cold, but they might not quite be at the races. Well, I'm sorry about that, mate.
How did that work?
The Reds were definitely ready. First half, we were just electric, weren't we? Like at the races right from the start. Real high intensity. The press was back, wasn't it? We pressed so hard. Bobby in particular was just relentless. Mo was on the heels. Divvy too. Like I just felt we were just like crushing them first half, weren't we? And there was a party atmosphere on the Kop. It was just brilliant right from the word go. It was just like we won the European Cup last night. Yeah. It had that feel to it, didn't it? A real party feel. I just loved it. I loved the first half. I could have gone home at half time, to be honest.
I know it was like that, wasn't it? I mean, you know, the first day back is always nice because, you know, you see faces that you've known for years, you're shaking hands, you're doing the hugs and the kisses and you're having a bevy and you know, it all sort of comes back and, you know, over the years, there's been lots of starts where it's a bit slow or you might get a draw or whatever. But, you know, the challenge this season is basically from day one to the end. We've just got to keep going, be relentless, and that's what they were. I mean, I was talking to some of my mates coming out and they were a bit like, well, I thought they looked a bit leggy by the end, and I was like, fuck me. Did you see what they were giving first half, though? They're going to be leggy. And meanwhile, by the way, Norwich's players are going down with cramp and all that kind of stuff. So, you know, this was the first day, and it was all action, all intensity. And yet you're looking at our bench, though, as well, aren't you? And you're like,
there's loads
all right, doesn't it?
Yeah, there is. Yeah. And you know, the man just showed huge faith, doesn't he, in this group that we have, because he hasn't brought anyone new in to come in, and this is for them to now grab the opportunity that they've been given them and push on for loads of those players there. Like Neil was saying, I thought Firmino was unbelievable. I thought second half as well. The amount of times he won the ball back and in the positions you would usually associate with him winning the ball back, it was brilliant. And,
what a nightmare to play against, aren't we?
That's
what I took again from that. And I thought, imagine being Norwich, you got a good manager, you're well drilled, you know, you play brilliant football in the Championship, you come up, you maybe fancy your chances a little bit like Neil says, and then you come up against that and you can't move the ball. There's someone in your face. You can hardly take a touch.
Yeah, there's no side Norwich would have played like us anywhere near us in the Championship. So this is the big awakening. Maybe for them this is a good thing. They see what it's like. They've seen the level that's set now. And to be fair to them, I thought first half they got in a few times. They didn't play well. Side. Yeah, they down Trent's side. I thought going back he was a little bit leggy, but otherwise he was brilliant going forward. He gets an assist. And he probably should have got another one in the second half. I don't know how Firmino misses that one that hits the post. But otherwise, you look all over the pitch. There were so many good performances that weren't at the level where you'd really be expecting at the beginning of the season. Like you're saying, you'd expect it to be a little bit slower. It'd take a little bit of time. But you know, we score 4 in the first half, and you're thinking this could be 8 or 9 by the end. And you know, you got players like Naby Keita, Oxlade-Chamberlain to come back and get into the side. Now they've got a big challenge in front of them to get their names ahead of the midfield that are out there. And I really think that we're going to see the goals coming from that position more than we've seen before, and that's going to be exciting to watch for all of us.
And there was the traditional fast start to the second half as well. I mean, the referee lost his batteries or whatever, and that's why we had to wait 6 or 7 minutes for the half to actually start. And it was funny because I think I mentioned on this before, I missed so many goals last season because they were straight from the kick-off almost second half. And Liverpool did that again and they nearly scored twice.
Yeah, well, I nearly missed both of them. So you got to the wrong man.
I haven't come to the right man here.
And it was so hot, I was like, I've got to get a bottle of water, and I could hear loads of roaring. I was like, for fuck's sake, gotta get back up there quick. By the time I ran up the steps, you know. But you could tell they came out with exactly the right attitude after half-time as well, because I think you've got to give Norwich some credit. I thought they were pretty good. I mean, when they did get the chance, they passed it well. They got in a few times.
They got a goal.
Yeah, they got a goal, and they could have had more. And they got a bit of a lesson, really, in the kind of ruthlessness in the Premier League, because whenever we got a sniff of a chance, we took it. It felt like, you know, it was just goal after goal after goal. And they must have been thinking with like 5-10 minutes to go at half-time, get us out of here. Like, is this what it's going to be like? You know, because we were relentless. And I thought it was great to see Mo was right on it from the start. At times, sometimes he hangs on to it a little long, and you want him to maybe give and go a bit more. And funnily enough, the first time he does that, he gets the goal. But I do think he started the season with a real bang, with a real hunger, which is great to see. I just think tonight was everything we could have hoped for, really. I know really we would have wanted a clean sheet, and we're all going to be a little bit concerned about Alisson. Because there's room. I mean, I don't know yet.
I've just read Klopp's quotes. I think he says it looks like a calf injury.
Oh, really? Not
and he's probably not going to. He's not going to be ready for Wednesday, definitely. But beyond that, you never know. There's no rush, is there?
When he kicked it, didn't he?
Yeah, but there's no rush with it. You've seen Adrian come in. He's done well. He didn't have much to do other than pick up that fella's clothes.
But imagine, but imagine being Adrian. Like, what was it? Was it Wednesday he signed? Tuesday, Wednesday. Yeah. Like, you know, one day there he is, just in his bills, you know, on his holidays, and then
homes under the hammer.
and then he's like, all right. I mean, obviously he's known for ages. I'm sure we've had that one set up, but you know, he joins the Reds midweek, and then Friday night, oh, what's this? I'm running to the cop, and like we welcomed him like he was like a European commander himself. You can see him. He was like, whoa, what is this for me? Like, you know.
I tried to get a Rocky thing going, but I was just on my own. I was giving it, yo, Adrian.
But spare a thought for Simon Mignolet, poor bastard.
I know, yeah. Waited all that time for a goal, it didn't happen, and then you get to go first game. But yeah, I mean, he's had a little mention in this chat already, but it feels like a bit of a time for Origi to take his chance, because you know he's got his new contract. We all love him because of his cameo performances last season. He gets a start today. He forces the own goal. He scores a goal himself. You can't really ask for much more. That's all right, isn't it?
It's the mad thing with him, because I thought there were times where he probably didn't hold up the ball as well he should have in certain positions. But he's still so effective, isn't he? I think there's still that unpredictability about him. No one really knows what they're getting out. I think if you're an opposing fullback and you're lined up against him, I think your head's completely in different places, because you don't know what you're going to get. You don't know if you're just going to get that pace coming in behind. The physicality of him is very obvious in terms of winning the ball. He scores his goal from a header, doesn't he? And that was brilliant. You could kind of see that going in as soon as the ball was played. And he's got so much about his game where you just, at face value, you don't necessarily see it. And I think that's the secret thing about him.
Shout, man walks in front of camera. As I say, you should subscribe. More of that every week.
He does remind me sometimes, Divi. This is more a reference for you than Fuad. Remember Quantum Leap? Quantum Leap, where he'd just like zoom into the body of someone and he's like, shit, where am I? Yeah. Every now and then you do get that with Divock, where he sees the ball.
But even when he scores in the European Cup final, he's a bit like, that's all right, isn't it?
Yeah.
We're filming here, bro. Here he is again.
I tell you what.
Wow. I mean, 100% a walk. So yeah, where we Divock took his chance there, hasn't he? Yeah. He's done well enough. But also as well, when Sadio finally comes on, I think a lot of people in the pub beforehand were like, I wanted Sadio to start, me included, to be honest. Yeah. He comes on, he looks class, and Milner comes on, he boots a couple of people, and that's nice. Do you know what I mean? And it's all of a sudden, I think in one evening we're already starting to make a mockery of some of the hand-wringing about the transfer business, because you look at what we've done tonight, you look at the quality of the bench, you look at some other people around the periphery as well that you think can come in at different times as well. there is no need to panic, as Colo Torre might have once said.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to lie, I'm one of those people, I would have loved to have seen a forward come in. I felt maybe we needed like one more top attacker. But, you know, unless we're beset by like a plague of injuries, we do have a lot of options. And there's players, I think it's fair to say, there's a fair few players who last season weren't able to reach their top level either because of injuries or they were new, they were acclimatising, like Naby, obviously Oxlade-Chamberlain, Brewster, who's new coming into the setup. I think that we can expect people like Divock Origi to step up a level.
More from Shaqiri.
Even Firmino as well.
Yeah, I was just going to say,
the goals,
and Bobby too, definitely, because Bobby last year, for all his good play, he wasn't really the goal scorer we've seen from him in the past. And he looked really keen tonight, didn't he? And he was unfortunate not to get one, really.
I loved how much you could see from the cop of Bobby laughing that he didn't take that chance. Yeah. I mean, we all know about his amazing teeth, but he was laughing for ages about it. And I suppose you can laugh when you've scored 4 goals already, but I like that. You know, there was a lot of signs of that, wasn't there? That they were enjoying themselves tonight. There was a lovely flick from Salah at one point. You know, they turned on little bits of champagne football at times, and that's important as well, because I mentioned the graft at the top, and I'll mention it again, because I love that type of stuff. You know, the fact that you can come first day and just be like, no, bang, 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 bang. Yeah. But also, to be able to find the time as well to show a bit of class, which they did.
Exactly, and you can see a lot of the things that they probably worked on over this pre-season with set pieces, corners and things. They had a lot of things that they took short, and there were little moves that made out of that. And it's so early on that you look at, you know, Mane's just come back, he hasn't had time on the training pitch, and he comes out that second half and he plays. You know, we see the class that he has, and we see the difference in terms of what he offers compared to Origi. And I'm really excited about this midfield, because I think that, you know, we've got 7-8 options in there, and I really feel that 1 or 2 of them are going to kind of explode in terms of the goals and assists we see. Either Naby Keita, Oxlade-Chamberlain, one of them I think is really going to come forward this season. And you know, we talk about the options in the front three and all of that. If that midfield contributes with more goals and everything, and I know that's not necessarily their job, but if they do this season and when there's tweaks in how they play, that's huge, because you know, we know what the front three can offer. We can see the levels that they're at from this one game alone, and you add that on top of the midfield. I think we're in for like a season with a lot of goals and a lot of glory.
It was interesting seeing Trent playing as high as he did at times as well. Yeah. Trent was getting so far forward on the right hand side. He was up supporting Salah. Like time and again, Salah was looking for the ball, and it was Trent who was like right on his shoulder. And his delivery was a bit mixed at times today. Certainly from corners, he hit the first man a few times. But he gets that chance to put in like one good ball. And it's so deadly, isn't it? It produces a goal. I like the fact that Andy Robbo is taking a lot more shots now from distance. He's scored a couple of screamers for Scotland, hasn't he? Yeah. And he fancies it now. You can see him blamming a few in. So we have got a lot of threats from different positions. If we can maybe add a few goals from midfield, because that midfield tonight is more of a workmanlike midfield, isn't it? And that was
Henderson there, he scores though.
Yeah, he does. And sometimes you know, you sort of think maybe if you find a way to get Naby in there as well. Yeah. Find a way to get Ox in there as well.
On Henderson, I just wanted to make a point on him before we go. In that, I feel certainly I've always been on the side of the coin that, you know, he's a fella who's absolutely grafted. Yeah. His attitude's been spot on the whole time he's been at Liverpool. It hasn't always gone the way he'd want and the way we'd want at times. He obviously nearly got sold. He's ended up being a man who gets his hand on the European Cup and does one of the best trophy lifts I've ever seen in my life. And he has a wonderful moment with his dad, etc, etc, etc. It felt to me tonight that there was a lot more appreciation from the crowd for him. Massively. His name was sung with a lot more gusto than in previous occasions, and that was lovely. I liked that because I don't think he did anything particularly outstanding. He worked his bollocks off. He was the epitome of what we talked about earlier, and that was appreciated. And there was a lot. As I say, there was a lot more people. I feel when his name's been sung in the past, you kind of feel like only some people are singing it, and the people who aren't sold on him are a bit like, nah. Whereas tonight it was like, okay, well, he's a fucking European Cup winning captain.
Exactly. So, when you think of him, what do you think of? You think of him lifting the European Cup, don't you? Giving it all that. You think of him like collapsing after Barcelona, or he's literally given everything he had to get us to the final. He is a modern Liverpool legend, whether you like it or not. Jordan Henderson is now a Liverpool legend.
He felt, I think you could see from his face when he came over the end and he claps the cop. I think he feels himself that the fans, there's that connection now, there's that fully unified connection that everyone knows that he belongs as this team's captain, as this club's captain. And it's really good to see, because I think he's deserved it over the last year or two. And I think any doubters or anyone that's kind of not been fully convinced, I've now been completely bought onto him being the leader of the side. They've seen what he does for this team. He sees what they see what he does off the pitch for the club, for the city, for whatever else. And it's really nice to see, because he deserves it.
Absolutely. Well, listen, as I mentioned at the top, this is the last time that the post-match pint will be free on YouTube. It's going to go behind the paywall, behind the Anfield Wrap's app, behind... Get involved, basically. Go to the AnfieldWrap.com. I got told to say this big spiel that I was never ever going to remember. Go to the AnfieldWrap.com. You'll find out about it there. Also tonight as well, the post-match show, as in the podcast, that's free as well, just so you can have a little go of that and have a taste of that as well. And also, as ever, go and read all the writing on the website, because it's great and there's loads of good stuff there. And it's been a good start to the season. Up the fucking Reds. We're top of the league. We're staying there. That's the first 3 points of the 114 that we're going to win this season. Up the fucking Reds.